You're listening to episode 12 of the TA Pedals podcast. I'm Tristan.
And I'm Stephon.
Yo.
Yo, what's up?
What's up with you?
Nothing, just sitting here with my SpongeBob Sockies.
Heck yeah. Those are some sick SpongeBob Sockies. He's dancing all over the place.
Yeah.
They're blue. I mean, what more could you want from a sock?
They're comfy.
So comfy.
So, finished your blog today?
Oh yeah, I did finish it. I finished it early this morning. And boy, let me tell you, we talked about it last week about me putting it out, and I've been working hard on it, and it's way more time consuming than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, all the things that you got to say about 10 different albums, like that's pretty extensive.
Yeah, like when I did the blog, I actually numbered them in reverse order, so it goes from 10 to 1, and I was on number 7, maybe it was 6, and I was like, man, I should just do the top 5 albums. And I had already written everything for 10, 9, 8, 7, and was working on 6. And then I was like, no, I can't do the top 5 because then I'd still have to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I do this to myself? But I mean, it turned out really cool, and I just gave a reason why it held that spot or whatever, and there's at the end of each little section for each album, there's my favorite songs for the album, so people can go check them out or whatever.
That's pretty cool. I definitely want to read it. I haven't got to.
I had to really stop myself from going off on a lot of them because I could have written about them for a long time, and I feel like I don't know, maybe I could have written something a little more relevant or whatever, because I feel like each album I was just this is cool and this is a cool song, and the next one I was like, this is cool but in a different way, but but
I'm sure you went into great detail about how it hits all the things, all the feelers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I tried to describe the mood of each album and why I like it so much, and whatever, what elements kind of stand out to me, whether it's the songwriting or the guitar tones or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's there, and you can go read it.
Yeah, and we have confirmed there is a comment section at the end of the blog, so if you guys read it and you like it and you think it's cool, put a comment down there. If you don't like it and you don't think it's cool, put a comment anyway.
Yeah. I'm curious what your favorite album is. If you were gonna make a list, what would your number 1 be? What do you think should have made it on my list that didn't, essentially?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for new music all the time too, so I need something new to listen to. So yeah, leave me a comment on what you would have put in the number 1 spot.
I don't know what I would have. In my number 1 spot, I definitely would have put Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good choice.
On my top 10 list, I think I would have Backcountry by Avenged Sevenfold, because I like that album a lot.
Yeah. You should actually do a top 10 on our website, or maybe learn from my mistake and do a top 5.
Maybe I'll do a top 5, but I might have my wife write it instead of me.
You could get that that app that converts text to speech from back in the day. Do you remember when text to speech was not a thing? Yeah. And there was some dragon weird mascot thing for elderly people, and it was hey, if you're not good at typing on your cell phone, just hook this weird headset thing into your phone and talk into it, and it'll convert it to a text message that you can send to your grandchildren.
It's weird.
It was really weird, but it was before the technology was integrated into everyone's phones.
Yeah.
And yeah, elderly people were using it to text their grandkids. It was really funny. Like the infomercial like showed a bunch of like senior citizens like struggling with technology, and like they were all in like a very bland looking like nursing home situation. And it was really funny.
It's crazy to think that old people had cell phones.
Yeah.
Like it's normal now, but
you got the jitterbug.
ugh,
Do you remember that?
no.
It's like a cell phone subscription service for old people. It was called Jitterbug. It was so funny. Oh, geez. But yeah, like what is crazy to me is like how whenever I first heard about, like talk to text, I was like, that's stupid. Like I'll never use it or whatever. Like I have no use for that whatsoever. But I use it all the time, whether it's like I'm trying to like get down a rough idea, like something pops into my head and I can like pull up my notes and just hit the microphone icon and talk. And then it's like recorded in text form for later, and I can like go back and read it or whatever. Or like if I am trying to like script out a video, sometimes I will do the same thing, and it comes off more naturally that way. Like it's exactly what it is. It's writing text in the way that I speak instead of what's in my brain and me trying to have to put it together in a way that sounds more natural and like the way that I speak.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it really comes in handy for stuff like that. Because like when I write, it's really like rigid, but when I speak, it's, a little more lackadaisical.
Well, for me, like I don't really use it because I always have problems with using it because I would assume because my voice is so low, it doesn't pick up certain things or whatever. But like it's never right. Like I try to, like, even if I'm just like, I love you too, like it just doesn't come out that way, and it's like, what's the point of using it when I just type it and it's right?
Right. It's really funny to like hear my wife try to use it because like when sorry Sydney, I'm calling you out on something and it's true. We've talked about it, so I don't feel bad about saying it. Whenever we got married, she spoke extremely properly. She didn't have any sort of southern drawl at all, and over the years it's just started coming out, and she told me that it's because she gets lazy in the way that she talks and then her southern accent comes out, and I guess she's like super comfortable now or whatever, and like that's all good. Like I don't want her to be uncomfortable or to have to fake the way she talks or whatever, but like back when we first started dating, I guarantee you if she were to ask Siri something, like she'd be like, hey Siri, what is the weather like outside? And now it's like, hey Siri, what's the degrees today? What? That's really funny. My phone just picked up my voice and it's 61 degrees outside apparently.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was really, really funny. Like hearing like how she talks and then like sometimes getting weird text messages that don't make sense. I've almost learned to like speak Sydney, and like I can sometimes decode it. Other times I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Like that didn't make any sense. So anyway, yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. Good times with old Siri.
I'm really surprised because like most of the people around here, they kind of have that southern draw, at least a little bit of it, but so far I haven't noticed it with you, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, my cousin met his wife when he was in the Navy in Japan. He was stationed I think he was in Fukushima, and he met his wife there. They got married, and she moved to the United States with him whenever he was well, he actually had to move back first, and then she had to file a bunch of paperwork for, to become a citizen, and it took a really long time. And when she first moved over here, she was saying that like some of my cousins had such a thick accent that she couldn't even understand what they were saying, because she speaks pretty good English. She's traveled the world, and I think she worked in Canada or something for a while, but she's native to Japan. But whenever I spoke to her, she told me that I didn't really have much of an accent at all. And I've grown up here, so I think it's a little weird too. But I hear it come out in at certain times, and I'm because of I only know how I sound. I can't hear myself in real time, except right now, like from an outside perspective. So I don't know if I have an accent or not. I just speak the way that I speak, and it just is what it is. But I don't think that I have like that typical like Southern redneck accent, even though I've grown up, that's what it is.
It's not really though. It's just Southern draw. Like redneck is kind of.
Do you think redneck's a bad term?
I mean, it's not as it's associated with a certain type of people.
I mean, straight up, every redneck that I know is proud of it, dude. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, when I say redneck, I'm talking like rural Oklahoman, four-wheeling, beer drinking.
No, those are Okies.
Fishing. Like, that's what I mean when I say redneck.
Okie from Muskogee?
Yeah, I have heard that. That's an old song, dude.
Rednecks are just the people that live out in the country.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be used as derogatory, but
they shoot their gun and wait for their neighbors to hear it and start coming out and shooting their gun.
Yeah, I mean, I've just grown up with that term, so I guess like to me, it's not really derogatory. Like it just is what it is. Like the way that I look at it is most people who live around here, they live here because they want to live here. When I moved to Oklahoma City, I never ever thought that I would want to move back. There's like nothing here, but there's just something about this way of life. It's more peaceful and calm, and you have more privacy. There's like less, crime for the most part. It's something about this particular area that like drew me back. And I'm not even joking. Whenever I was visiting from Oklahoma City and started to kind of want to move back, even knowing how difficult it would be, like trying to sell my house and uproot my life and get the money I need to move all the way from Oklahoma City back to the Podo area. Like there was just something about it that drew me back. And I was visiting, and I went to Walmart in Fort Smith, and there were like old people, like older, like redneck people with like like torn up flannel shirts and like dirty hats and weathered skin. And like I saw this dude, and he had like 3 teeth, and I looked at Sydney and I said, "These are my people."
Oh my God.
Like, I need to be back here again. I don't know why, but like I want to be here. Like the people are just different, not better, not worse, just different. And it's home to me,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I don't get it.
I've grown to enjoy this area. I'm from California, so it was a very big change whenever I came to live here. Because California is a lot different. There's a lot of very open-minded people, but they're very straightforward at the same time. Like if they think something, they're like their mouth's open saying it. Like there's not a lot of filter going on in California when I grew up anyway. I don't know how it is now, but bringing that here, it's definitely caused some issues in my life, not having that filter, because people around here have a very big filter. Like they whatever they're thinking, they keep it to themselves, and then they go and tell their friend later or whoever, and it's like, I have trouble doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that explains a lot of like why you are the way that you are. And don't get me wrong, I like it, but you are not afraid to speak your mind, like in the moment to the person's face. And like I actually have said many times that I wish I was more like that. But like I don't know how it is for like other people in the area, like why they do it. But like I need a minute to like reflect on what I'm about to say and like how I need to say it and what impact it could have. And like it's just like a few seconds, but a lot of the time, like in the moment, especially when you're going to say something that someone doesn't like, if you don't say it like right then, you know, then they'll either walk away or they'll like act like they got you, like, oh, you don't have anything to say back, ha ha, like gotcha. Yeah. So like I appreciate the fact that you can, like, if you're in some sort of conflict, like you just say what's on your mind. And, you know, it is what it is. Like you're, like you said, you're straightforward about it. And yeah, I could see how that'd get you in trouble.
Man. There's it's got me in some thick water for sure.
But, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's just, you know, most of the time it's just words. Like, it's not like you or some maniac that's gonna fly off the handle and say something wild, you know. Like, it's words do have repercussions, but you are a very logical and intelligent person, and yeah, you're not gonna. I just know you wouldn't say anything in the moment that you would regret later.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've over the years I've grown to. Like it's become to the point where I would rather just keep my mouth shut, and just watch and listen to what's going on around me, and that also gets me in trouble because people are expecting like a response or a comment, and I'm just like, I don't want to say anything because I know it's not going to be something that you want to hear.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's weird because like I went from one side of like speaking my mind and not caring, you know, about anyone's feelings for what I say, to a point where I'm like, I've been beaten down so much over it that it's more like I don't want to say anything at all, because the consequences of what I say are probably going to be more severe than me not saying anything at all.
Yeah. Like the people, like I've met a lot of people who are like, yeah, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone thinks. And, you know, if what I say hurts your feelings, then like that's your problem. And that's like such a bad way of like looking at things. Like, it's one thing to be headstrong and say like, this is what I believe. This is, you know, I need you to hear this, and, you know, let's talk about it. That's good. Like, it's good to say like, I need to tell you how I really feel. We need to resolve this conflict. We need to talk about this. But it's another thing to just like say stuff purposely to offend people and make them mad, to like try to feel like you won something. And like, that's, to me, like that's where it's wrong. And those people who are like, I don't care what anyone thinks and I'm going to say whatever I want. Those are the people, those are the people who don't have the right perspective on it.
Yeah.
Like, you should care what other people think to an extent, and you should care about how other people feel to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But
for
anyway.
Sure. But it's hard to find that balance.
It absolutely is.
And I'm still struggling with it.
Well, I think you do a good job interacting with people from what I've seen. I've never heard you say anything where I was just like, I can't believe he said that. That was a big mistake. I mean, never. So.
If you would have known me like 10 years ago, you would have definitely heard some crazy stuff come out my mouth.
Yeah, it's all part of growing up and maturing and self-reflection, though. Like, You know, everyone's always working on some aspect of themselves. So
Yeah.
even the way you talk to people, it's a process.
Yeah, for sure.
So, shark news?
Sharp teeth? What?
Shark news? Shark
Sharp
news?
tooth. Ooh ha ha.
Okay, so you go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know. Like,
You know,
you can say it.
I'm just gonna say it briefly. We had some setbacks with the shark. Again, and it's fine. Everything's fine. We have actually a newer, better plan. Shark's still going to be made, but we are adapting our format to be something that we can utilize in the future as well. It's going to be really cool. We are just really in the thick of it with the shark, and we have like a couple specific problems that we're dealing with that need to be addressed before we put this pedal out to you guys. And we have been talking about putting this pedal out for probably 8 episodes or something like that, like 2 months or whatever. But I'm telling you guys, we aren't going to put it out unless it's 100% ready. And
it has to be perfect.
It has to be perfect. And we got the circuit board all put together. It looks beautiful. We got it in the enclosure, and for some reason we're still having issues with it. It on the inside, it looks beautiful. But one main issue that we had that I'm willing to talk about is the whole circuit board. Okay, it's like the length of the pedal. Like there is literally probably at most 1.5 millimeters of wiggle room between where the PCB meets the bottom of the pedal on the inside and the pot where the pot body is. It's pretty much touching the screw holes or whatever you call it on the enclosure. So there's like no wiggle room, and because the PCB is well, first of all, the foot switch is under the PCB on the inside of the pedal. So that way, obviously it sticks up through the top, but the PCB it goes all the way to the bottom of the pedal. And so when you mount the potentiometers and the switch through the enclosure, it kind of puts the circuit board at an angle on the inside, just ever so slightly. And that means that the mini potentiometers are kind of at an angle when they come through the enclosure. And so we have a solution for that. And it's going to be really cool to be able to utilize the solution for future pedals as well. It's like a system that we're developing. And even though it's, going to put more time into the production of the shark, like we're still going to have to take some more time to make sure it's right. It's going to be way better. And yeah, it's going to be way better. That's all I can say.
All I can think about when I think about like the process of what we've gone through with the shark is that scene in The Lion King whenever the hyenas are chasing Simba, and Simba like jumps off into that thorn bush field, whatever, and the hyena jumps in there or like falls in after it, and he shoots out with thorns all up in his butt. That's like, we're the hyena.
Can you elaborate a little bit? Because I don't think I get it. What do you mean?
Like, we kind of just like, we're like chasing this thing, like we're trying to get this thing, and we kind of just like got caught up in the chase of of it, and we end up in this big old patch of thorn bushes with all these thorns in our butt, and our brothers are trying to pick the thorns out of our butt.
I understand. So you're saying that we jumped in the deep end of the pool with the shark.
Yeah, and we only brought one floaty with us, and it's not filled up all the way.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get it working. We know what we need to do, but there's a lot of hurdles and obstacles that we have to, figure out how to overcome, and it's gonna work, but it's just gonna be a little bit longer. And we also have learned a lesson, which this has been fun. This has been, kind of a cool experiment. Like talking about it as we are going through the development process. But me and Stephon talked about it the other day, and I was like, from now on, like, until we have like a fully developed product, I don't think I want to talk about it anymore. Like, because every week I feel like we come in here and we're like, hey guys, it's gonna be a couple more weeks for the shark, but I think we got it. And then like 2 weeks go by, it's like we put it together, but it didn't work. So 2 more weeks. But I mean, it is cool. Like,
it is definitely a cool pedal, and I can't wait for it to be 100% where we want it to be, because it's a pedal that I'm really excited to have for myself. And so if I'm really excited to have it, like, I know there's probably going to be several people out there that are going to be wanting to have it as well. It's a super cool pedal, and like we know what it sounds like because we had our prototype was working, and it sounded great, and I love the way it sounds, and I love how many options it has as far as tone and things like that. And I just am so excited, and it's like, it's killing me that I can't have it. You know what I mean? And it's just, I just want it to be done so we can be working on something else.
Yeah. I totally feel you. It's killing me too. Like, and what's crazy is like, this time I thought we had it. Like, I put it together. The circuit board is beautiful. The layout is beautiful. It was really easy to put together. Like, I put the wires in, I put the hardware in, everything came together beautifully, and I was like, this is it. Like, it was so easy. I didn't have to waste a lot of wire, like going from the jacks into the board and then like to the foot switch. It's beautiful. But then like it didn't work, and I was just like, well, okay, like that's normal. Like, still, like, even though we've tried so many times, it's still normal to have something that's not fully functional.
It's joke time. It's joke time.
What did the Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor?
What?
Make me one with everything. He then gave the vendor a $20 bill and asked for change, but the vendor said, change comes from within. Yeah.
I think that the Buddhist like sayings and stuff like that, they're very meaningful. Like they do give someone a good set of moral values,
Yeah, I definitely agree. And thousands of years of wisdom that still, or I guess what I mean is like anything, any bit of information, any advice that's held up and been passed down for thousands of years has to mean something.
For sure.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt that if I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that's stupid that's not gonna stand the test of time. I can't think of anything, but I guess what I mean is like if there was like a Snoopy comic, like 10,000 years ago, it probably, there's no way it was going to make it through. Like, I guess it could have. Like, nothing's impossible, but you know what I mean? But the wisdom that was shared through all these ancient texts and stuff, like, they've been around for thousands of years, for a good reason.
I think like a good example of what you were trying to say is like when people come up with certain words and they're like relevant for a certain amount of time, but after a while they kind of fade away and you find new words to use. You know what I mean? Like when I was younger, like I would say dude, and now today people say bruh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, but I also meant like the sentiment of like the actual wisdom that's contained in the ancient texts, whether it's from Indian culture or the Bible even provides a pretty decent moral background when like at its basis, and like I know there's things in there that people deem questionable. I get that totally, but like what I mean is like in general we can all agree like don't kill, don't steal, don't like, don't do those basic things. That's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And so like there are things like that in so many other ancient texts too. And you can look to those for wisdom that can guide your life in a positive way, I think.
You know why you can't think of any examples?
No.
Because you've already forgotten about them.
You're right. Because you're absolutely right. That just goes to prove my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so out in my car, yes, still out in my car, I have the PCBs for the summer pedal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was wondering where those was at.
I'm probably going to put them together or put one together today at least. And
I am so excited. I cannot wait because I feel like this is the one.
I really hope it is, and I believe it is. I also have the first version of the SMD PCB. Sorry, I'm dyslexic and I'm trying to sort all these.
The Squid version 2.
Yeah. I like really that was an in the moment dyslexic malfunction. That just goes to prove it. But yeah, the version 2 Squid PCB with the surface mount stuff, I have that in my car as well because you gave it to me, and I'm going to bring it in a little while, and I'm going to try to solder an SMD part on it, like just like a resistor, like just to see how difficult it'll be. Like my plan is to, since we don't have any solder paste or a soldering gun, or whatever you call that, a heat gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to solder, like put some solder on one of the pads for the resistor, and then I'm going to use tweezers and put the resistor onto the solder and melt it to tack it into place. And then I'm going to try to solder the other side.
I think you should probably put solder on both sides.
If I do, then the solder is going to harden, and I won't be able to heat both pads at the same time, and so it'll be difficult to like wiggle it down into the solder, I think.
Okay.
That's just my thinking. I've never done it before. So if that first way doesn't work, I'll definitely be trying out your way. But without solder paste, like
How
no
much
matter
is
what
solder
we do.
paste?
Oh, I don't even know. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure I could just order some.
I mean,
like, but I just don't have any now, and I can't wait. Like, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I forgot how soon those PCBs would be here. And
we're not really in a rush. You can
oh
wait.
no, yeah. I mean, I can, but how many PCBs are there?
There's 5.
Well, then it won't hurt to try one out.
Yeah, but I mean, all the resistors and stuff, they're going to be wasted.
Oh, well, no, trust me. If I can't get the first one, I'm not going to keep trying. Like, I'll just wait until we have the right stuff or whatever. But I'm just curious. It's just a little experiment.
Man, those things are so tight.
Yeah, I was joking around with my mom, and like I was kind of telling her what we have going on with the business and stuff. And I brought the SMD resistors into the living room, and they come in like a little tray with like the plastic on top to keep them in place.
Yeah.
And like I opened it and like put one on my fingertip, and I was like, look how small this is. And then like I showed her a normal through hole resistor, and I was like, look how much smaller. And then like explained to her like why we're going SMD, and I was like, you can fit so many more things on there with the smaller parts, and like some of our circuits, are gonna end up being pretty complex because the ideas we have are kind of complex. And like I put it on my fingertip and was showing her, and she was like, you better not drop it. And then I was like, oh no, and like pushed it into the like off my finger onto the carpet, like just being stupid. And I was like, oh no, where'd it go?
Did you find it?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, like I made sure to pay close attention.
You scared me.
I know. I knew that story was going to scare you, but it was just funny because I was just giving her a hard time. But like for real though, they're so tiny. I'm literally going to have to use tweezers to do anything. But it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be like I'm doing science. That's how it's going to make me feel, like I'm doing something really intricate.
It looks hard. It looks hard.
Also, they are, like, the resistors are thinner. Like, if you're looking at the resistor from, like a top-down view, like, from the top of the resistor to the bottom of the resistor is thinner than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought that they were going to be like little chips that were like
they like
pretty sturdy.
They like stick up like ICs.
Yeah. I thought that that's kind of what it was going to be like, but just really tiny. But yeah, no, they're weird.
So just for clarification purposes, the pads on the resistors as well as the transistors for the SMD stuff, I picked the footprint where they're like extended out a little bit, so you might be able to hand solder them without doing all the stuff that you were talking about doing.
Oh, right.
So like you might be able to put it down and still have like pad showing to where you can just like put a little bit of solder on the edge of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then the flux will like wick it up onto the contact point of the component.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot.
I'd like to look at it before I leave today.
Yeah, we can do that.
I want to see like how it compares.
Yeah, we might as well. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
So we are currently developing the version 2 of the Squid, and that's pretty exciting because there's going to be like a ton of clipping options and stuff. And I feel like we have a pretty cool approach to things now. Like, yeah, we're working hard on the Shark, but like we have like 3 other projects that we're working 4 actually. We have 4 other projects that we're working on, 4 different product releases, and they're all pedals. And they're just like, we're just kind of chilling on them. Like, we're taking our time. We're definitely rushing with the Shark. Like, not in a bad way, but just like really trying to work hard and get it done. And I feel like these other ideas that are on the back burner, they're still like, we're making progress on them without having to really like push it, and that's kind of nice. I like that workflow.
Yeah, it is cool. Well, like the coolest thing about it is like, as far as like the V2 of the Squid, we know that circuit like the back of our hand. I feel like at this point, so it's really easy for us to change it and not have to worry about it not working. The only like factor that comes into play that's like a little bit unknown to us is the whole SMD thing.
Yeah, and the that one weird clipping option.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it. I feel like I've done enough research on it to know how it works and how the layout for it is, and I think it's gonna be okay.
I think it'll be fine. And I'm really curious how it sounds on the circuit too, because like clipping transistors is a lot different than clipping diodes.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna have like, it's not only is it gonna like clip more, but it's gonna clip differently.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be like, completely different.
Yeah, with the transistors, you're like kind of dipping your foot a little bit into Big Muff territory, and I think that's a cool feature that we're gonna have. Yeah,
for sure. It's just strange because like it's becoming like at that point it's like this weird chimera of different classic circuits. Like the rest of the circuit is going to be like rat related, but then like that is going to be like the clipping section is going to be more like fuzz oriented, like 2 transistor fuzz oriented, and it's cool, but like I'm so curious.
We've turned the rat into something that's not a rat anymore.
Yeah, it's a capybara because it's so big.
It's a vampire squid. That's what it is.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a vampire squid deep in the ocean that you can only see if you throw a camera down that far.
Yeah. I think we only actually have a few vampire squids left, like of the V1, which is nuts.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the way things went with that. We unloaded enough to push our future projects, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's gave us enough funding to like get some equipment that we need, and you know, keep pushing us in the right direction. So if we could sell the last few, I think we'd be able to like get some essentials that we've been needing or whatever. Not that, like,
if we could get rid of the last few that we have, that can definitely push us into the digital realm.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. Like, or what I was trying to say. Like, because we have our hands on a few FV1s, we're gonna be making like digital effects like based in the FV1 realm. So that's really exciting because we can start getting into like delays, reverbs, and you know some other things. I don't know what all we're gonna do with it because like
I know we at least want a delay, and I know we at least want a chorus.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't sure if we were gonna do the chorus digital or analog, but like there's so many more options with going digital with it.
I think it's gonna be a mix. Like it's gonna be like the chorus, like definitely like the chorus, the main chorus part of the pedal is gonna be digital, and then we're gonna add some like different things to it to make it a little bit more dynamic and unique, and that'll all have to be analog.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. What I'm most excited about is the reverb pedal that we're gonna do. I don't think we actually even have plans for a reverb right now. Like we have plans for maybe a delay, but I'm a big reverb guy, and so I'm excited to see what's possible once we get into the digital realm. It's gonna be a lot different.
Yeah, and I'm also excited. I can't wait.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We can be modifying code. So, like, we're going to go from, like, doing everything, you know, like, with a soldering iron and, like, measuring voltages and, you know, different things and, like, HFE for transistors and all those things to, like, spending more time in front of a computer analyzing and modifying code, and it's like it's similar, like the idea is similar, but like the process is going to be so different for us. Like talking about how we were talking about flashing the EPROMs, and then just having to like socket them into the digital pedals like on the circuit board, and then like it's done pretty much. Like that's a big change in the way we are going to be able to produce things. And it's going to be probably like like with analog circuits, like there's each part has tolerance, anywhere from 1 to 10%. We normally use parts with like 1% tolerance, but even then, like each pedal sounds a little bit different because each 1% tolerance between each part adds up. So each pedal is gonna inherently sound a little bit different. But I feel like with like in the digital realm, it's probably a lot easier to reproduce sounds in a more like exact fashion because the sound is actually coming from the digital side of things instead of being produced by the analog parts. The analog parts are pretty much there to like regulate voltage and things like that, so make sure everything's electrically sound. And so like I feel like with digital pedals, like each one is, it's pretty much a copy. So I'm excited to have some like extreme consistency between those pedals.
For sure.
Well, I think that's a
wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Wrap it up. Wrap up that sandwich.
Just wrap it up. Slam it in a plastic bag with some chips. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
It sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to episode 12. It's been fun, and we will talk to you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.